free, free, I'm free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. Do you want a revolution? Whoop, whoop. Do you want a revolution? Whoop, whoop. I dare you to move. Dare you to move. It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food where they don't serve breakfast in hell.
My world is a flood.
Well, we're all drowning in a flood. Wah, wah. Hello, hello, everybody. It's your boy Joaquin.
And I'm Jay.
And that is this week's of the Overflow Podcast on the NRT Podcast Network. So we are glad that you are with us today. As you guys heard my avant-garde medley of...
That's what you call it. All right.
That's what I'm calling it. Avant-garde medley. My Andy Warhol stylings of pop art.
Yo, but before we get to that, man, what's good?
Oh, not much, man. We got, let's see. Everything seems to be ready for the wedding. Just got to pay it. That's the whole thing.
So no pay, no wedding? Is that what I'm hearing?
No pay, no wedding. Honeymoon set.
Honeymoon is set.
Yeah, man. The Hard Rock Cafe in Punta Cana, Dominican Republica. Go my peoples.
That's all inclusive, right?
All inclusive, yes.
Any extra like excursions or packages or things or whatever?
Nah, we just doing the all inclusive there. I mean, once we're there, if we decide to do something, we'll go do something. But I'll be honest with you, for me, it's just all about relaxation. What you say?
Like, I don't want to do nothing.
I don't want to do that.
I want to do
exactly, bro.
Marital things.
And even then, you know, I just want to do nothing. I want to be able to relax for a week, right? Like the hotel room's gonna have a jacuzzi tub,
right?
Like I'm gonna spend 90% of my time in there, just just asleep. Jay's gonna be like, "Let's go to the beach." Let's go to the beach.
See when you get back.
See when you get back. Nah, man, that's...
You will end up in another time, right?
Was that?
When we was at Hot Tub Time Machine?
Yeah. That's right.
Like you wake up and you're like 18 years old, and you know, there's a 17-year-old Jenny. Well, maybe that's not a bad thing.
Well, wait a minute now. But yeah, man, that's done. The venue's done. Be on the lookout this week. You should be getting your invite.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, even though we know you're coming, but
I know. Mom's already hit us up.
Oh, asking for your address.
It is funny though, right? It's funny because she didn't text me; she texted Magda. Right? Like she texted Magda, and Magda was like, "Oh, here it is. What's going on? Like, why do you need it?" Like, duh. Hello. You know.
Yeah. So we got that. All that's taken care of. Now it's just an issue of me talking to my fashion counselor and getting the outfit together. That's you, my dude.
Yeah, I know.
That's you, my dude.
I know. So I thought we had this handled.
No, I mean, we kind of chit-chatted about it, but we haven't.
No, I was dead serious with everything that I sent you. Like I sent you
no.
picture, and I sent you the items.
Oh yeah. No. The tennis shoes are a no-go.
No, not the tennis shoes. I sent you those Kohan bros.
Oh, the brown shoes, the blue shoes.
Yeah, the brown or the blue shoes. I sent you like the Oxfords, the toe cap Oxfords. Yeah. I thought, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like get them brown.
Oh, no.
Or get them blue.
Right. I'm just saying the rest.
No, I would rather you get them brown because then you can use them again. If
Yeah. No. I mean, not to put too far a point on it, but sometimes Jay got to help me how to dress nice because I'm a blue jeans and button down shirt kind of person. So,
man, at least you're no longer a blue jeans and Hawaiian shirt kind of person and blue jeans bowling shirt kind of person, right? Hallelujah.
Oh man, I was gonna bring that bowling shirt look back. I think I look better in it now. Now I don't look like a bowling ball wearing a bowling shirt.
Yo, son, but yeah, but I sent you. All right, whatever. We'll talk about this.
Yeah. I got the shoes.
I sent you the whole outfit.
No, I remember the whole outfit.
No, I'll send it to you. I'll resend it to you, and pause, but we can go shopping.
Yeah, we'll go. Hey, because listen, like the reality is, just realize this is it's a weird thing, right? But being big for so long, I still kind of wear big clothes because that's what I feel comfortable in. I don't feel comfortable in.
But it's different though because now you look like you're swimming in it.
Right now, I look like I'm swimming in my clothes instead of the buttons hanging off of their life. So
now you look like you're in a pair of Jinko jeans. Remember Jinko jeans?
Yeah.
or you're wearing a Steve Harvey, a suit from the Steve Harvey collection.
From the Steve Harvey collection. So anyway, so all that stuff, dope. Hopefully next week on Saturday, me and Jenny headed off to the West Palm Beach area.
Right.
For a few days.
She got to meet the matriarch.
So she can meet the emperor, as I like to call her.
The emperor.
That's my grandmother, my dad's mom. But other than that, man, things are all right, man. Work has slowed down. So now I'm trying to learn what my actual job is now that we're not taking these COVID calls.
now that it's not COVID dependent.
Yeah. So with all that, man, that's it. That's what I got going on. Dude, what about you, son?
Start a new job mañanas. Right. I was able to get a nice contract gig for the month of April. I think it's the month of April and half of May. I'm not too sure, but I know definitely it's the month of April, which works perfect for me because of everything else that I have going on. Magda also starts like a new Kush gig tomorrow, right? Like God has allowed her to help me realize my dreams of having a sugar mama.
Okay.
She's gonna throat punch me when she hears this episode. But yeah. I mean, it's funny because as you and our listeners know, I was laid off on my birthday, which was like a nice bookend to the fact that I was hired on my birthday. Right, like close to 7 years ago. So, I mean, that works.
Ooh, 7 years ago on your birthday. Es de Dios.
But and then a couple months later, like she got laid off. So we've basically been chilling.
Yeah.
Right? We've been looking, I'm not gonna lie, we've been looking for work. It's been highs and lows. Especially when we have a lot of experience in our separate fields, and we'll get those rejection letters. Like the first 2 rejection letters are like, whatever, let's get it. Like but then like the 5th or 6th rejection letter, you're like, what am I good for? Nobody wants me.
Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like that every day.
You stupid. Right, but yeah, like this job for her came, like it's amazing. It's for a great company, a Dutch company, but they're all over the world.
Right, so she getting paid in Legos. I'm so excited.
No, I don't. No, that's not the same. You're so dumb. But listen, like it's this thing, right? I don't know what to do with it because her first, like she starts tomorrow and already like they're already like prepping her for like a giant client, right? Like to work on like one of their biggest clients. And I'm like, go God. Yeah, let's do this, right? Because we're gonna need, right? All they apparently already know that she can handle it. So that's gonna go great for us a little later. A little, in like a year and a half time.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for her more than I'm excited for myself. I want to be honest with you. Right, because I have all this stuff going on, right? I have all this other stuff going on that I really want to focus on, and I really want to push to build that'll hopefully get us in a good place, right?
Right, and you can't do that without a sugar mama. So she needs to succeed. I get it.
Right. No, but like my attention will be split. You know what I'm saying? Like, my attention will be split. I'll be doing this, but then also like trying to push my business. Right. So, but that's why I'm grateful that it's a contract job. So it's not something that's going to consume all of my time, just the time that I need to give it. But I'm excited for her. So
that's what's up. Yeah, it's exciting. It's always nice when get back to work and do those things.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh. I mentioned this on the first 30 in passing, but I gotta mention it now too because I think it's hilarious. Tuesday, I'm getting vaccinated, getting the first shot, and so I'm really excited to see.
Are you not afraid that they're gonna microchip you?
What kind of no? What I'm hoping is I gain a superpower. We've seen it in all the movies. Oh my God. Flight, speed, super flight.
Yo, I hope that your superpower will be a super fast metabolism.
That would be awesome.
Right? It's like,
keep whatever I want.
Jay, that's not a superpower. To us it is.
To us it is.
I hope that if I have to take the shot, that would be my superpower. I know that Joaquin loves Batman and I love Superman, but I don't want flight. I don't want super strength. I don't want none of that. I want a super fast metabolism so I can eat whatever the hell I want as much as I want.
I want Flash's metabolism.
Right.
So I'll take super speed because I'm going to be skinny.
But all right, I'm with that, but not CW Flash skinny. You want comic book Flash skinny, right? Because comic book Flash skinny, like he's still ripped.
He ripped, dog. He ripped. Because then think about it, with super speed, you can eat whatever you want. Be like, I feel like some Neapolitan pizza today. I'm in Italy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. So, I mean,
all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, and I said, if I have to take the vaccine, like I'm not I'm not anti-vaccine. Right? I just want to clarify that for whatever reason that I feel that I need to clarify that. I am not anti-vaccine. Like my kids are vaccinated. All my kids are vaccinated. Right? But, like I don't always take the flu vaccine. Like I'll take the flu vaccine like every 3 to 4 years. Right? That's just the way I do things because like I'm an old man, so I believe that the only way you could build your immunity is if you allow yourself to get sick every once in a while. Right? I'm the guy, as a kid in Puerto Rico, my cousins and brothers and I, we used to like actually go outside and play, climb trees.
That's why I feed Jay mushrooms on the sly, like little bits of mushrooms.
That's the food.
Building up his immunity to mushrooms.
Right, but I'm saying, like, it's like, it's this weird thing now where like people don't want to do nothing. Right.
Well, see that listen, I get the flu shot every year. because where I work, they bring CVS in to give the shot to the employees for free. So
Oh, there you go.
it doesn't
Well,
it doesn't
like, they used to do that at my old job, but I think the last time I took it was 2 years ago because they gave us like a bonus, like $200 bonus for our paycheck.
Yeah, no, I mean, because I'm like, it doesn't cost me
$200 for the shot. I want one in each arm. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, because for me, like it doesn't cost me anything. 5 minutes, walk up, takes 2 minutes to get the shot, and then I'm back down. So no biggie, right? It's no big deal. This time I wasn't planning on taking it, but going to the DR, and then with the way things keep changing, with some countries saying that you need to show you had the vaccine, or saying, well, you got to take the COVID test before you go so that you don't get quarantined for So I was like, you know what? If I can show that I've been vaccinated, then that probably just clears. Honestly, it's all about making things easy, right? Being more lazy.
You see, so me with the whole management and record label thing, like if I have to take the shot to travel, right, to do a legacy music showcase, let's say like in Germany, let's say, right, or in France, right, because we had a show planned for France for this year, and they told me that I have to take the shot, I have to get vaccinated, I'll get vaccinated, right? I'm not gonna, let my pride or my stubbornness keep me from bringing everybody to France to do a show and to bring Jesus to wherever it is that we're gonna go through this music, right? I'm not gonna be that guy. Look at me stewing in my principles, right? So like I'll do it, and everybody knows. I let Magda know, like if I have to do that to go on tour with my guys, then yeah, I'm gonna do it, right? It's not a matter that I'm not anti-vaccine. I don't even take the flu vaccine if I feel that I don't have to. So like it's just one of those things. So if I don't have to, like
that'll be fine.
I got tested. I got tested a couple weeks ago. We all got tested, and it came out negative. And I'll get tested. Like if they say that I need to have a clear test to travel, then I'll go out. I'll get tested. Right? I'll get tested.
You know what though? If you end up having to do a lot of travel, you're gonna end up getting the vaccine.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But
I'm saying only because getting in your brain all the time before you have to travel, that's no fun.
Yeah,
if you have to start doing that. If you have to start doing that every like a couple of times a week, you're gonna just give me the vaccine.
I know a lot of people who had to do that now, but because there was no vaccine, right? So yeah, like I'll just take the vaccine. Like I don't care. Like I don't care.
I don't like my brain being touched with that long old Q-tip.
See, well, the thing is that when I took the test, like I did it myself. Like I did it myself. I took the Q-tip myself because I know like a lot of people in the medical field don't have bedside manner, so they'll just like, oh, it's not their nose, so right. So like I remember, like that's why I hate getting strep tests because it's like open your mouth, it's like you want to punch the doctor in the face. But my doctor's a female, so I'm afraid that she'll beat me up. But because she's from Philly, but. Right? But yeah, like again, if I have to take it for work purposes, then I'll take it. No me importa.
So hey, we'll see what maybe next week I'll be doing the podcast from Italy. What are you doing in Italy? I just ran here.
So you'll bring me a pizza. Bring me a pizza.
But yeah, so so much of just stuff happening. So trying to get things, going forward. Life-changing stuff happening for me here in the next couple months.
The next couple, it's like only a few months.
Yeah. Was it on April, May, June? So April 5th, it'll be 2 months on the spot, on the dot, on April 5th. 2 months, I'll be getting married. It's funny. It's funny. Like pastor, the pastor today goes. He says something about like, he goes in a few days, the greatest, in the end of the week, or next week, the greatest miracle ever is we're gonna be celebrating the greatest miracle ever. And I leaned over to Jane. I thought the greatest miracle ever was that Quinito, Joaquin, me, found somebody that was willing to marry him.
I mean, to me, that's the greatest miracle ever.
But I said that to Jenny. She just gave me that look.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Well deserved too.
I was the greatest miracle.
Well deserved.
It's like me finding somebody and getting married to that somebody. You know, the Jesus resurrection, right? Isn't that?
It's a close tie. It's close. It's close.
Like 1A, 1B.
But like even Jesus is like.
1A, 1B, 1A, 1B. So, yeah, so we're gonna
oh, such sacrilege.
Oh my goodness. We just goofing Jesus.
Yeah, we're just joking. Just joking.
Just
joking. Don't strike Joaquin down.
No, so close.
Right, that's so close.
Yeah, that'll be me. I'll be the day of the wedding. I'll be walking to go into the building, get struck by lightning and die. I'm gonna be ahead and be like, come on.
Or at the reception, you choke on a chicken bone.
Yep, at the reception, I'll choke on a chicken bone, and then I'll be standing before Jesus, and he's like, "We're about to judge you." I'm like, "No."
First of all, Jay, he was right there with me. He did the same joke. Where's Jay? Gosh, son, yo, like I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Of course,
you should be, right?
You should be. You better be.
Better be. So let's go. So anyway, as some of you had heard, I started the episode with my avant-garde medley, my Andy Warhol of Christian pop presentation. I don't know. Jay sent me this article, and I thought it was hilarious because it was pretty spot on.
And it's pretty perfect for us because I agree with this article 100%.
Yeah, these are the 9 songs. The title was 9 songs every 90s youth group kid still has memorized. Number 1, With a Bullet. Free at Last by DC Talk. Back when it meant something to be on Arsenio Hall show, on the Arsenio Hall show.
Right.
Back when it was a big deal if you were a Christian and you got asked to be on a national TV show,
right? Because DC Talk, they were on Arsenio and they were on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Right. So that was a pretty good year.
Number 2, the 2 and 3, I just couldn't remember how
okay, went. So that's the thing, right? 2 I remember because, like I told you about our boy who had a crush. So number 2 is Stacey Rico, Don't Look at Me. And Stacey Rico was a big deal too because if you remember, Stacey Rico used to be played a lot on MTV.
Right.
And she was on TRL and stuff. So that was, it's always a good thing to see.
Yeah, she got a little bit of play on radio. That's right, on Christian radio.
Yeah, so that was good. Now,
I mean, on pop radio.
On pop radio, right? Mainstream radio. So I will correct myself. Number 3, no idea. Never heard of it. Never heard it before now.
Yeah, number 3 was Five Iron Frenzy, One Girl Army.
Right.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
You know what? The only reason I knew about this song, honestly, was because my boys, Mike and Dennis, especially Mike, was really into Five Iron Frenzy.
So he was a big ska fanatic.
Yeah, and he like that ska stuff. That I liked ska. I liked some of the ska I heard. I mean,
I like some of the ska stuff too. But
I ain't no front.
I don't think I've ever heard any Five Iron Frenzy to be.
Yeah, they were like real quirky, like humorous. So I think most of them are atheists now. I don't know, something like that. They had a Reliant K, Sadie Hawkins dance. I remember that one.
So I remember Reliant K. I don't remember this specific song.
Yeah, this one was one of the big ones. They had a couple of big ones. Then, of course, Overflow Podcast favorite, number 5, Newsboys Breakfast.
Okay, so ready? Ready for a little true confessions?
Uh-oh.
So one year, I believe it's the last year. No, it wasn't the last year, but one year that that Juice and I were working Creation Fest. Damn, I just forgot his name. I just brain farted his name. The guy from Newsboys who actually sings this song.
Peter Furler.
Him. So he was one of the main stage artists, right? So I've been a Newsboys fan since their first album, right? Since Not Ashamed, like that's how far back, right? Their Newsboys album. So for me to meet the Newsboys, I had met them years before that, the new Newsboys, right? I met them years before that, so it was cool. But the only one I hadn't met was Peter Furler because he wasn't a part of the Newsboys anymore. Dude, so when I met him, right, and I just started talking to him because every other artist that I had met through Creation Fest, it was like there was no wall, right? It was like, oh man, I've been such a fan, blah blah blah. Oh man, dope. What's your name? When I met, that's how I met and befriended Michael Tate, right? We met during getting food, and we just started talking and I introduced him to Junie. Junie was like starry-eyed. Like he couldn't, for him, Michael Tate was from DC Talk, not Newsboys, right? He kept it he kept the original like us, right? So it was like super cool. We just hit it off. It was like real dope. Peter Furler, on the other hand, talked to him, told him that this is my favorite Newsboys song, right? Breakfast, right? And then I asked him for a selfie, like I have with everybody else. Everybody else was taking pictures, goofy selfies, whatever, right? He did it, took the selfie, but then he later complained to the owner of the festival that I bothered him and asked him for a selfie and all this other stuff. And the owner of the festival, that what he didn't know was that I was working for the festival, but I was working for the owner directly. Right? The owner directly hired Juice and I to run the hip hop stage for the festival. Right? So when he came to me and he told me, hey, so Peter Furler told me you're harassing him. I was like, what? All I did was someone I was a fan, told him that Breakfast is still my favorite Newsboys song, and asked for a picture. And he was like, yep, that sounds about right. I was like, man, no longer a fan. I don't like Breakfast anymore. Now dinner is my favorite. And dude started laughing. He was like, that's what you should have told him. I was like, where is he? I'll tell him right now. But he was on stage. So yeah, that's my Peter Furler story. I thought he was going to be cool, but.
Yeah, never meet your heroes.
Nope, he was not cool. He was not cool. Yo, to the point that was innocent, right? The year that we had Seanlock on our stage, remember Seanlock was a part of Diverse City, right? So a month before that festival, I was calling out Toby Mac on Twitter, right? Daring him to show up to the hip hop stage. I was just being basically trolling him.
Right.
Toby showed up, right? Toby showed up. And as soon as he saw me, he recognized the picture from Twitter. And he came over to me, he walked over to me. He's like, I'm here, what? And I was like, yo, so what up though?
You were like, yo, I saw a man with a tat on his big fat belly. It wiggled around like marmalade jelly.
Right? I was like, what up though? Yo, I was like, I'm sorry for all the stuff, but I really did not expect you to show up, right? And I actually still somewhere, I think it's up on Google Photos. I have 2 pictures that we took. One was a normal picture, and one was him like this, oh, he took care of the troll. right? So like if anybody has like a right to be like, son, get away from me, leave me alone, right? You would think that it would be Toby.
Right.
Like, but no, super cool.
Super
right?
cool. Yeah, that's dope.
So anyway,
Right.
next
up
on
the list, number 6, Kirk Franklin's
my new hero.
Kirk Franklin's Revolution. Do you want a revolution? Whoop, whoop. And the thing was, right, this song blew up like everywhere. Like it was on hip hop radio, it was on pop radio, it was, I mean, Rap City, you would see it on Rap City, you would see it on MTV.
Yeah, this one
everywhere.
And Stomp, right? The
Stomp,
had Salt and Pepper.
You know, these blew up. And then of course, number 7, awesome song. I mean, it's very much of the time. Audio Adrenaline's Big House. This is their first real big hit.
So you want to laugh?
Always.
This song made such an impact that your niece and nephew know the words to the song, right? Because I sing it and I play the video for them, right? Because it's such a quirky song, right? And dude, you throw on Big House, like the 3 and 6-year-old, they'll sing it word for word.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, look, Audio Adrenaline is one of those bands that I think don't get the love that they should get when it comes to CCM. You know, like to me, like they're right up there with the Newsboys and DC Talk.
And DC Talk, yeah.
Those you know, like that album. So they had this album that the Big House was on, but then their next album was called Bloom. Was like freaking. It's a freaking fantastic.
It's my favorite.
Right. So
that's
then we have Switchfoot. Switchfoot.
Also, a lot
Dare of you to
love,
move.
Right. Also got a lot of mainstream love, right? Switchfoot.
Especially when they had like 6 or 7 songs on that Walk to Remember with Mandy Moore. That movie.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they had like a ton of songs.
Almost like that movie was made. It's like a long video for like their album.
But yeah, so and Switchfoot's one of those bands that they were never Jesus lyrics, but their songs always seem to kind of point.
Right. So they were a more successful Creed.
Right. A more successful. Well, more successful in the sense that they've had a longer career.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And then of course, number 9. This song was everywhere too. This song was on MTV. This song was CCM MTV everywhere. Jars of Clays. I think this was their first single. Yeah, this was their first. Flood. Their first major single, I would say. I think they had an album before this one. Maybe I might be wrong. I don't remember, but yeah. This was their first like big song, right? It was a little bit like REM as far as the sound is concerned, right? And if I can't swim at the party, so yeah, man. So I remember playing this or listening to this with my boy in college. My boy Anthony loved Jars of Clay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to send you this playlist on Spotify called Youth Group Throwback. No, you did already. I haven't seen. Okay. I think that's what I'm gonna be listening to tomorrow. I listened to that on my drive to Florida a couple days ago. So, yes. The only person that I could listen to that playlist with that'll be like right on board with me will be like you, or like Dennis or Mike. Dennis or Mike. Like those are the only guys, right? That I could listen to that stuff with, and we'd be singing and like enjoying it. I listen to Jenny. Jenny be like, I might have to rethink some things. Don't do it until afterwards. That's it. You're stuck. It's too late. All right. We separate as if one of us is dead. Like I told Magda, if you leave me, I'm going with you.
All right, so next up in headlines, we have John Cooper of Skillet with Cooper Podcast, or whatever it's called. Sorry, he doesn't listen to the Overflow Podcast. We don't listen to his either. And it's not out of spite. It's just, we just don't. But
even though I feel like we probably should start, because this dude, he likes to go hard. He's kind of like us.
And we know about it. We know about it. Maybe I should try to ask Kevin to like connect us so we could have him guest on the podcast.
Or we can guest on his podcast.
Well, cross promotion, right? Let's do it. So John Cooper of Skillet is quoted as comparing the Cardi B Grammys performance to Hitler.
Right, to the big H.
Right, he compared Cardi B's performance, I guess Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's performance on the Grammys, to Hitler.
Right, now, the context, there is a little bit of context. It wasn't like, oh, they're like Hitler because they...
Right, because you see, that's the thing, right? It was almost like this headline was definitely clickbait, right? Because Cardi B's performance to Hitler is like just like Hitler. Like, my wife is from Poland, right? She's never told me that the Nazis invaded Poland like twerking and like booty shaking. Like, Hitler wasn't up on stage like booty shaking. So I didn't get it. But I was curious to see.
That we know of.
Right, that we know of, right? That we know of. But I was curious to see. So go ahead, Joaquin, because you had a better handle on this than I did. For me, I was just like, this is stupid. This is all stupid.
So he was grappling about like them taking the Dr. Seuss books off the shelves that they've been selling for years, and then so basically this is the quote from the article that apparently he said. He goes, "We're living in a world right now where there are certain Dr. Seuss books that you cannot sell on eBay. They're just too much for anybody to even be allowed to buy. They're being yanked down from all the bookstores and stuff like that. It's just too much. It's too evil. But you can and must applaud the sexual degradation of Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion simulating sex together on the Grammys. This is the perfect example. You must celebrate it. In fact, if you don't celebrate it, then you're actually a bad person. And you kind of like don't love people. You're actually not nice." And so the Hitler thing was that apparently Hitler made a comment about freeing people from the 10 Commandments. Right. And so, right. So he's saying, so it's kind of like, you're showing, we watched the video and it's like, you're basically showing sex on stage.
It was very explicit. We'll save our
and if you have a problem with it, then you're a bad person. You're wrong. You're evil. You're terrible. How dare you?
Right. So it's I think from what I understand, right? From what I understand, right? I think he should. Well, we haven't watched his video. Like I think maybe we should watch his video, see exactly how he says it. Because my understanding is that the Dr. Seuss books were being pulled because of racist imagery.
Right. There was 6 books.
And I saw because I literally have those books in my house. Big Dr. Seuss fan. Literally have those books in my house. They're like the best books to teach kids how to read because they all rhyme. But like I see the racist imagery. And it's one of those things that doesn't you don't really like make the connection. You're just reading the rhyming words and
right. Well, but what's funny, right? What's funny too though is that those books weren't even the popular ones, right?
Right, they weren't. But it doesn't matter, right? Like imagery, whatever, right? So it was almost like bad worse, right? Bad worse. Let's be real. Like he had like black people on a stage to be sold. But it's not that these things are good. And the Cardi B stuff is bad. It's just that these things are bad, but these things are worse. And what he's connecting it to is the fact that Hitler's way of speaking was making the good bad and the bad good, right? I just think that maybe, and again, we should watch the video before we speak too much on this. But I think it's almost like, maybe people are probably reacting that maybe he went a little too far. Like he went a little too far. Like everything bad is being compared to Hitler now.
Right. So now, right. So
Hitler, like when people were comparing the refugee camps to concentration camps, right? Like, yeah, no, it's not exactly the same thing. Right?
At the refugee camps, they're getting 3 squares a day. They actually have showers
and survive the showers.
Yeah,
right. So it's a bit much, but yeah, we'll watch the video. Maybe if it's worth coming back to, we'll come back to this.
But this kind of does lead into right.
But we're gonna talk about
me and Jay we're just kind of talking about before we got on the podcast, because we're trying to, sometimes we'll talk about stuff to try to figure out how we're going to approach it, kind of how we're going to handle it or whatever. And in this one, I don't even know, because it's this isn't an easy, like, well, if, do A, do 1 + 1 and you'll get 2 and then it's set. It's good to go. There's some nuance. Maybe there's nuance that we don't notice, that we don't see. Maybe we need to be more. Maybe there's some nuance that we need to have or
right.
Whatever.
That's the word I was looking for, actually. So good.
Right. Because what I found funny, because so Jay tells me, hey, have you heard about Lil Nas X's controversy? And I was like, no.
Who?
Right? So, all right. So the only thing I know about Lil Nas X is I know 4 things. He had that country road song or country cowboy song that he did the remix with Billy Ray Cyrus, right? That was huge. That he is gay. That he dresses up like a gay cowboy. And that's about it. That's about all I know about, and that he likes to be on Twitter, like, popping off or whatever.
Right.
Which is what people do on Twitter.
People do on Twitter anyway, right? So
that's it.
So apparently, I asked you about this because like I'm a big sneakerhead, right?
Actually, you look more like an eraserhead right now.
I'm a big sneakerhead, so I'm subscribed to all these profiles and things on Twitter where I get updates and releases and reseller stuff, right? So I can talk about my sneakers, but my platform's not big enough to be featured on Preachers and Sneakers. So yes, right. I can do my thing, right? Although I only pay retail. But anyway, right? So that's the thing, right? So I saw one of the accounts that I follow posted something about like these Satan sneakers, right? Lil Nas X Satan sneakers. So I'm like, what the hell? No pun intended.
Right.
And apparently there's a company that custom created, I took a pair of Nike sneakers and custom created these Satan sneakers for Lil Nas X, and they dropped the announcement right along with to coincide with a new music video of his, right?
Right.
So in the music video, apparently he goes to hell, gives the devil a lap dance. It's very sexual, right? Between him and a depiction of Satan, right? So he has these sneakers that are known as Satan sneakers. They supposedly have a drop of human blood in each pair, right? In the airbag and on the sole, on the midsole. And then there are only 666 pairs made. Oh my God. And then also, I think they're over $1,000 for a pair, right?
Yeah, the $1,018.
$1,018, right? All right. So that's the thing. That was this whole big thing. And then I saw Ruslan also like reacting to the video and like having discussions, having a talk about the whole reason why, or his take on Christian artists and Christians as a whole being triggered by these sneakers, right? First of all, I want to say that Nike as a company themselves had nothing to do with this collaboration, right?
They denied it real quick.
Real fast. Nobody at Nike said, "Hey, yeah, Lil Nas X, I think it's a great idea to do a collab with you on some Satan sneakers." Yeah, not at all. They denied it real quick. It's a separate company. I think a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, they also had these Jesus shoes, right? Where supposedly the airbag in the midsole was filled with holy water. I think they were like $2,000 each pair, and they came with a crucifix. So the Satan shoes has a drop of blood in it, and it comes with a pentagram, right? So we don't want to talk about Lil Nas X's music. We don't listen to his music. Right? The only reason why I know about the sneakers is because, funny enough, the sneaker community posted pictures of them condemning it. Like, yo, are you, did you guys see this? Like, are you guys good with this? This is horrible. Right now, the sneaker accounts that I follow, they're not like Christian sneaker accounts. I don't know if the people behind them are believers,
right,
or not, but it's not like Holy Sneakers or Christian sneaker account, right? They're just sneaker accounts, right? They update everybody on the new drops, right? So it's not like, for the most part, a lot of the comments that I saw were very colorful comments. So, right? So I can honestly say that, it's just people in general. So a lot of non-believers, I'll say that they're non-believers, saw this and they condemned it. They rejected it, right?
Right.
I saw a lot of atheists say, yeah, I don't believe in God, but I'm an atheist and I don't believe in God, but I still will not support something that I know is done for evil and like elevating like another person's belief that these things are evil, right? So it's funny how, from what I understand, he dropped these things for the shock and awe value, right? And also because apparently, according to him, he was abused verbally, whatever, or the rejection by Christians telling him he's going to go to hell because he's gay, right? Now, ready? Joaquin and I are not going to talk about Lil Nas X's gayness, right? And this episode's not about him being gay. This episode's not even about the Satan sneakers, because even if they were given to me, I'm not gonna get them. Right? I would never buy them. I would never wear them. I would never gift them. But this thing is about, right? Basically, you know how they say haters gonna hate, a sinner's gonna sin. Right? So like I want to talk about, or just discuss, like throw it out there, have a conversation as to why there are so many Christians on social media. It's gonna be posted. I'm pretty sure tomorrow we're gonna get, Joaquin, you and I are gonna get emails from Relevant Magazine or churchleaders.com or Christian Post or whatever, like condemning Lil Nas X and these Satan shoes and whatever, right? But we don't care. Like, I don't care that Lil Nas X dropped a song whose visual is him giving Satan a lap dance, right? Yeah. Like, I don't care. I don't care that he collabed with this company to make quote unquote Satan sneakers. No me importa, right? Because I do not expect a sinner to act or do things or even think any other way but as a sinner would act, do things, and think. Right? A sinner's gonna sin. Yes, get it. We have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But when I commit a sin, I repent. Right? I recognize that I'm a sinner. I committed a sin, and I go to God and I repent. Lil Nas X, I can say doesn't do that. Right? You say doesn't do that. And I'll say that, and I say that with certainty because I got duped where I saw a tweet from him and the headline or the main tweet was, Lil Nas apologizes for the Satan sneakers or the Satan shoes. And it was a video, and I clicked on the video, right? I'm like, oh, wow, this is fast. And then see what's up. And instead of, like, I got caught for that, I fell for the okie doke, right? It's like, oh, for all of you, and he's holding the sneakers, blah, blah, blah. And instead of the apology, it was an F you and the video of him giving Satan a lap dance. I was like, cool, you got me.
Let me go put bleach on my eyes.
Close window. Stab my eyes out, right? But the deal is that we as Christians should not expect, right? Like this is in the private conversations that I have with Joaquin, and I am going to use it. I'm going to use this, right? Because in John 8:34, Jesus tells the Pharisees, truly I say to you, everyone who practices sin is a slave to sin, right? So in the practice of sin, that's the difference between we all fall short. We all sin and fall short of God's glory, right? Because I don't practice sin, right? I die daily. And it's not that I don't commit sin, because I will commit a sin, right? I do commit a sin here and there, but I repent. I don't commit a sin and then just continue committing it. That's the practice of sin. This is why Jesus said, go and sin no more, right? Through that music video, we can see that Lil Nas X, he practices sin, right? So why am I getting offended, right? A slave's gonna do what a slave's gonna do, right? We don't expect a slave to do anything else but slave stuff, right? If you practice sin and you're a slave to sin, according to scripture here, right? These are red letters, right? Everyone who practices sin is a slave to sin, right? So a person that's a slave to sin is going to do what a person that is a slave to sin is going to do. There should be no shock and awe, right? There should be no shock and awe. And what we're going to talk about, what we're going to further talk about is right, pulling on what John Cooper was talking about with the Cardi B performance, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion performance, right? We saw it before we started this episode for the first time.
Right.
And it was just as shocking, or even more shocking, because this was publicized on
national television,
right? On national television, right?
Where it wasn't right. It wasn't. It's a video of a performance at her concert. Right? It's a video of a.
It wasn't like it was an iPhone video that someone took of a concert where you had to go pay money.
And what's interesting is that you can go to YouTube and watch it. Right? But yet YouTube will, if me and Jay were to do a video about, something about, the pandemic, right? Can't say the word because it might get the video taken down. But which proves my point, right? It's like, oh no, if we did a video talking about Lil Nas X's, proclivities,
good word,
right? And then somebody come, it'll be taken down. Oh, it's got taken down, hate speech, right? Even if we're coming at it from a scriptural point of view, but simulate a sexual act between two women on national television, that video,
primetime TV, right? Primetime means
primetime TV, and the video was up. And it's interesting. Now, my thing is, what I find interesting is that I I haven't seen the outrage about this video, about this performance.
I haven't seen the outrage from the Christian community, right?
Right?
The same way we see the outrage. The same way we see the outrage about a sinner blatantly doing what sinners will do. I didn't see anything on Twitter or social media where people condemned this highly sexual act between two women on primetime television.
Right. On a song that there's no subtleness to it.
None at all. Right. And then also, right. And I tweeted this earlier, right? Like, you know, you can't put a secular artist on a pedestal one day, right? And then get mad at him the next day for doing, like, secular meaning having nothing to do with Jesus, right? I don't want to hear nothing, those stupid arguments about what's secular and what's sacred, right? Sacred having to do with God, secular not having to do with God. It's real simple. I don't know why that's an argument. Right? It's not complicated at all, right? So if this artist who is very clear wants nothing to do with God, you put him on a pedestal as a Christian or even as a Christian artist. You put him on a pedestal for one drop, and then when he does another drop that further pushes and exemplifies the fact that he wants nothing to do with God, and then you get angry, you like it's ridiculous. You can't do that. You can't do that. No, you shouldn't have put him on that pedestal in the first place, right? So this is my thing. This is my thing, right? If you're mad at non-believers for doing things that non-believers do, then why are you following or elevating these non-believers, right? If it's just about the art, right? If you're doing it because it's just about the art, then give him his flowers. Give him his flowers, because the little bit of the video that I saw, it was very artistic, right? It was super creative. A lot of writing, a lot of money went into that video. It was super creative. If your only concern is about the art, then give him his flowers, right? And I don't know if that's a Spanish saying. I don't know if it translates into English, but give him his props, right? Give him his flowers, right? If you're worried about the content, right, then you never should have supported him or given his songs, his music play from his first cowboy song to his this cowboy song, right?
Right.
Because he's still a cowboy, right? So you never should have done that. You never should have done that. And that's the thing, right? I was talking to Joaquin, and I'm telling you, the Bible talks about you can't serve two masters. You can't serve both God and mammon. And you usually refers to mammon, or mammon is usually money, translates to money, the love of money, or the love of whatever, right? But for me, mammon is everything that wants God out, right? The culture, culture that does not serve God, the culture, not Christian culture, but worldly, secular culture that wants nothing to do with God. For me, that's what mammon is. So you can't serve God and the culture. You can't be a part of the kingdom and do kingdom things while at the same time having a mindset of the culture that wants nothing to do with God, right? You can't be like leading worship or having your Jesus music while in your car, in private, unseen, right? You're listening to whatever song that video is to, right? So you can't you can't be out there with like 1K view in public for everybody else, and then in private, blowing up and filling your head, filling your mind, filling your heart with Lil Nas X,
or with Cardi B's,
or with Cardi B, or with Megan Thee Stallion, or whoever else, right? You have to keep ourselves pure. We have to, like First Peter says, right? Be holy as God is holy, right? It's not saying that we have to, that it's expected of us to pursue holiness. I'm sorry. It's expected of us to pursue holiness. And holiness is more than just reading a Bible. Holiness is more than just praying. Holiness is more than just fasting. Holiness is exactly what James says, that that pure and undefiled religion is. It's to take care of the widow and the orphan, and to keep oneself undefiled by sin, right? Undefiled, whether you like commit sin, whether you practice sin, whether you celebrate sin, whether you look at sin, or whether you listen to sin, right? It's none of this. It's just, I think we had an episode of the podcast, whatever season, whatever years, where I explained that the minute you say, well, it's just this, then that shows that you're compromising your faith, right? Oh, it's just music. Oh, it's just entertainment, right? That's what they say about the porn industry. It's just entertainment. None of it is real, right? But we all know, but we all go against pornography, right? Whether it's soft porn, as what I saw in that performance between Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, and this Lil Nas X video, right? Or if it's explicit hardcore porn, it's still porn, right? It's still detrimental to our soul. It's still detrimental to the Spirit of God that should be abiding in us, right? I'm gonna keep ranting if you don't stop me, Joaquin.
No, that's okay. Yeah, rant away. I think now I will say this. I mean, we're not saying, right? Obviously, we're not saying that you can't. The thing isn't about, well, oh, well, you guys talk about like you listen to salsa and so you only listen to Christian salsa. I was like, no, we're not saying that there aren't things in the secular realm, I guess as it were, that you can't participate in. But what we are saying is that you have to be careful. You have to be wise in the things that you do participate in. So yeah, we'll go to the movies to go watch a superhero movie, right? We're not going to go to the movies to watch a movie about a guy who is extolling the virtues of child pornography. Right. I mean, that's very, very, very extreme kind of thing.
But there are movies like that are out there, right?
Right.
But yeah, like what you're saying is right. We're not saying that all non-Jesus music is bad, right? But we are saying that there's a lot of it out there.
That is.
Right? That is bad. So we should not allow those musics, check me out. We should not allow that music to have a place in our lives, have a place in our ears, in our minds, in our hearts. Right?
But that doesn't mean that
discernment over everything, right? And it's not just the music, it's what we watch, it's what we do, right? It's a lot of things. There's discernment in everything. And I'm sorry, but WAP doesn't need discernment, right? It's in the title.
Yeah.
It's in the title. It doesn't need discernment, right? Lil Nas X, maybe he caught you guys by surprise, right? Although I don't think so, because maybe the first song was like a nice, clean way to get in, right? But like the second and all the other songs, like I don't listen. I'm not saying, but my daughter tells me, "Hey, Dad," right? She's like the bad music police. Dad, don't let my brother and sister listen to this or see this stuff, right? Because X X X Y Y Y. Right? Right. So we had to be wise. We had to be wise with what we are going to allow to be a part of our lives, to be a part of our walk, to be a part.
That's why, like, it's funny because when it comes to music, like I enjoy the reggaeton, right? The reggaeton. I enjoy the reggaeton. Makes me sound super old. But here's the funny thing, right? This is my own personal experience, right? But I'll play the secular stuff, and I tell you what, I can't finish a song.
That's why I listen.
Very, very few songs that I can finish, because it's like just the stuff that is pumping. I'm just like, oh, like it's not even, like I said, it's not even subtle. It's like growing up, I remember I used to listen to songs and I would la 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 la, and then when I got older, you're like, oh, that's what they're talking about, right?
Right.
I can't make it through with, because within the first 2 minutes, right? It's just like I'm like, oh, So I tend to listen a lot more to the Christian stuff because I still like the rhythm. I still, I like the beat, right? I like the rhythm of it. But I just can't. I just can't keep. I can't listen to that constantly, right? Because it messes with me. That's like when I was a kid. I mean, it came to a point. Like Big Pun is one of my favorite rappers. But there came a point where I had to stop listening to him because I was young and I realized this stuff was affecting me. Right. So I had to put it away. Right. Every once in a while now, I'll listen to a song, like a song that I like. I'm like, yeah, I remember we used to love that song. I can't listen to that song no more though, because that's not where I'm at. Right. That's not what I want to continuously feed my soul.
Right. And that's what it's about, right? You have to watch what you're feeding your soul.
Yeah, that's why I believe. I believe music is. That's why I believe music is more dangerous than like movies.
Agreed. I agree. Well, it depends.
Right. The music and TV, because we spend more time. I mean, generally speaking, we spend more time listening to music. You're at work listening to music, right? You put a little music on to play. You're in the car listening to music on the drive home.
And movies trigger memories like that, yo. Like,
right?
Movies trigger memories.
What does?
Music triggers,
right?
Really?
Hey guys, it's time to clean the house. What do? You put music on, right? So we're constantly putting it into our brains. Whereas a movie, you'll sit down, you start watching it, and if you're like, whoa, you turn it off, you go to something else, right? If it turns out not to be what you were expecting it to be. But music constantly. I mean, one of the most celebrated guys in the Bible was a musician, right? I mean,
right. And like me personally, I can't work without music.
Right.
I can't work without music. I have to have music in my ears while I'm working all the time.
Listen, I get it.
The business that I'm trying to build is
right. I mean, listen, first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is put music on.
Right. But the thing is what you said, right? It's about feeding our souls. And also all of that is reflected by your walk, right? So we're gonna go back to the fruit of the Spirit, right? So Galatians 5:22-23, it talks about the fruit of the Spirit. And it says, it's clear that we manifest, right, the characteristics of the fruit of the Spirit the closer we walk with the Spirit, right? And that's the thing. The closer you walk with the Spirit, the more these things will become, you'll see how much they'll affect you, right? The more you walk with the Spirit, the closer you walk with the Spirit, the more this like music will affect you, and you won't want to hear it anymore, right? Because it doesn't resonate with the Holy Spirit, right? Again, it's that word holiness. As believers, we should pursue holiness more than we pursue validation with the things and the people of the world, right? Like the world that wants nothing to do with God, right? I think that Christian artists these days are so focused on the art, right, that they forget that they forget that they need to have Jesus and glorify God in everything, right? The Bible says that we have to glorify God in everything that we do, right? And we forget that even in our music, we still have to glorify God. That doesn't mean be a Jesus rapper all the time, right? But that does mean that even in your music and what you put out as an artist, you should do it to glorify God. Right. And what you allow in should be things that glorify God. And the closer you walk with the Holy Spirit, the more these things that do not glorify God will affect you, and you'll cut them all off. Like you just cut them all off, right? Right. I'm at the point right now where I don't know about these things unless I'm told, because like I don't listen.
Yeah, we're not in that.
I don't listen to radio because I don't listen to radio anymore. But I just don't listen to this stuff. Like I no longer crave it. I no longer need it. Right? Yes, I'll listen to like old school salsa, right? Salsa music, talking about love and relationships, and even like some of the old school stuff that's a little tawdry. Like I'll skip it, right? That's the thing with digital media. Oh, I'll skip it, and that's it. Go to the next one, right? And Spotify, the more you skip a song, the less it'll show up when you're listening to music, right? So, and then, you know, it's just about guarding our heart, right? Because it's the wellspring of life, right? And protecting what we are allowing to feed our soul, right? We shouldn't get triggered, or we shouldn't like be surprised because a sinner's gonna sin, right? Sinner's gonna sin. That's it. But we should, right? When a sinner does what a sinner's gonna do, our reaction to that should not be one of surprise nor anger, but rather prayer and love and the same grace that God shows us, we should show them. The same mercy God gives us, we should give them.
Right. And it's not saying that you can't have an opinion about it. You can't go like, yo, this is messed up. I don't agree with it. But it's in how we approach it. And listen, if we're gonna, you know, once again, if you're gonna, it's fine to appreciate someone's artistry and be like, yo, they're a dope artist. You know, I like, you know, how they compose their music, or I like how they do this, or I like how they do that. I like their style. I like their whatever. But there's a fine line between that and just consuming the anti-God stuff that they're, you know, that they're giving you, right? That they're putting out there. And if you disagree, that's fine. It's okay to go like, yo, that's messed up. It's messed up. Those sneakers are messed up. But it's in how we approach it. But at the same time, you know, let's kind of be across the board here. If we're going to be upset about sneakers, we need to be upset about, you know, all these other things like this you know, WAP performance and song. And when people criticize it, you know, let's not go, oh no, well, that person criticizing it because maybe we don't like them or their politics or the whatever, and we criticize that person. It's like, wait a minute, let's look at what's being criticized. Let's understand that one, two, three things are all bad things, you know.
Right.
And so, you know, don't, well, you know, oh, well, he's messing with stuff from the spiritual realm. That's messed up. Well, guess what? Messing with stuff from that other realm is also messed up. Messing with all this other stuff, all messed up. Anything that will cause death is messed up.
Right.
And we need to either stop listening to it or start participating with it, or we just need to be honest with ourselves and with others and say, yeah, I like it. I don't care. I don't care that it's messed up. I can respect that.
Right, exactly.
I can respect that. Then I know that when you tell me in your music and your stuff that, oh, it's pointing to God, then I would say, well, I don't care to listen to it because you don't care.
Straight up. So,
right? So in all of this, I'll end with my verse. I'm going to end with my verse.
No, hold on. Before that, to close, before Joaquin ends with his verse. Back in the day, Joaquin and I both listened to this artist by the name of Mark J.
Oh, Mark J.
Right? The name of Mark J. Mark J was my boy. And he had this song called In It, Not Of It, right? And as believers, we have to remember that, right? We have to remember that we are in this world, we are not of this world. So all of our actions, all of our thoughts, right? Everything that we consume and everything that we pour out, right, will be judged by the God that we serve, right? We are in this world, but we are not of this world. And seeing how we're not of this world doesn't care that we like or we don't like. But the one who does is the God that we serve, right? So let's make sure that we recognize that if we're not of this world, then we must continue to be ambassadors and a royal priesthood for the one that called us out of this world, right? Well, not out of this world, but like called us out.
Right.
And go ahead, end with your verse, bro.
I know my verse. It's funny. So when we're talking about this, my thought was this proverb. Was quoted in Peter. It says, "The dog returns to its own vomit, and the pig, the sow, after washing herself, returns to wallow in the mire or returns to wallow in the dirt, in the mud, right? And so I think that as believers, we have to check ourselves
before we wreck ourselves.
No, because sinner's gonna sin, right? We know dogs are gonna eat their poop. Dogs are gonna eat their vomit, right? If we've ever had a pet, right? We see that, right? A dog will go back and eat its own poop and then come try to lick you in the face. A dog will go and eat its own vomit.
And then
as believers, two things. As believers, one, we need to remember that, you know what, that's what sinners do. Sinners go back to eat their own vomit. Sinners go back to the things that are gross, spiritually gross, emotionally gross, right? Mentally gross, like that video from Lil Nas X. And I didn't even see the video. I just saw a picture and I was like, oof. But number two, we got to ask ourselves as believers is, why do we return to the vomit? Right? Why do we return to the vomit? Whatever that might represent in you, for you, right? Why do we return to that vomit? Maybe we like a little too much. And if we like that vomit a little too much, maybe we need to rethink, right? Some things. I'm not saying that you're not saved or this. I'm saying maybe we need to rethink our attitudes, and maybe we need to rethink about it's just in our lives. And that's it. That's all I got. I'm out. Peace. No, that's it. That's it. We're done for the night. As always, see y'all next week, wherever I'll be.
You'll see us next week.
Or you'll see next week. I don't even see nobody. But as always, this is the Overflow Podcast, part of the NRT Podcast Network. As always, I'm Joaquin and
Still Jay.
Thanks for listening. Remember to go to the overflowpodcast.com to subscribe to the podcast on all streaming platforms and catch up on all the links of the week. And don't forget to follow our playlist on Spotify.